We start with the preview of Christmas meeting, first day, Saturday, 1st December 2018, race preview. First race will be the Aristotle handicap, a handicap for horse rated 1 to 26 in class 5, to be run over a distance of 1400 meters. Number 1 will be Chelmsford. Chelmsford's had one start this season in race number 22, over 1400 meters, and quite a poor run that was by Chelmsford, who finished on 13th. A little detached from the field was Chelmsford. Winner of that race was Smith & Wesson. Number 2 will be Pellion. Pellion's last start was in the monsoon meeting in race number 47 over 1200 meters, where Pellion was amongst the front runners but eventually faded out and finished on 10th, and the winner of that race was Oath of Allegiance. Number 3 will be Shimmering Star. Shimmering Stars had one start in the monsoon meeting in race number 39 under heavy showers over 5.5 furlongs, where Shimmering Star finished on 9th. Winner of that race was Lumos. Number 5 will be Porus. Porus's last outing was in the this season in race number 15 over 1600 meters, where Porus came up with a late run on the very wide outside and just about won that race by a nose. And also in the same race we had number 6 Orion, who finished on 5th. Number 11 Solaris, who finished on a very decent 3rd, was Solaris, and number 13 Star Phoenix, who finished on 4th, but the winner was Porus, won it by a nose. Number 7 will be God Save the Rest. God Save the Rest, his last outing was in the monsoon meeting in race number 136 over 1200 meters, where God Save the Rest finished on 5th after much efforts, and the winner of that race was Dakshesh. Number 8 will be Winner's Delight. Winner's Delight's last outing was in the monsoon meeting in race number 134 over 1100 meters, where Winner's Delight finished on 11th after some vigorous riding, but couldn't get much out of Winner's Delight. The winner of that race was Shania Spat. Number 9 will be Madame Recamier. Madame Recamier's last outing was also in the monsoon meeting in race number 120 over 5.5 furlongs, where Madame Recamier finished on 6th out of 6, and the winner of that race was Romanov. Number 10 will be Ascend. Ascend's last outing was this season in race number 1 over 5.5 furlongs, where Ascend finished on a late 3rd, and the winner of that race was I, Me and Myself, as Ascend finished 3 lengths behind the winner. That was I, Me and Myself. Number 12 will be Mustang. Mustang's last outing was quite an impressive one, an eye-catcher this season in race number 23 over 5.5 furlongs. Mustang came up with a very late run and finished on an impressive 3rd behind the winner. That was I, Me and Myself. Number 14 will be Heading Glory. Heading Glory's last outing was in the monsoon meeting in race number 104 over 1200 meters, where Heading Glory finished on 10th. The winner of that race was Monaco. We move on to the second race, which will be the Mossy Bear Handicap, to be run over a distance of 1400 meters. Number 1 will be Multivalue. Multivalue's last outing was this season, just had one start in race number 9 over 1200 meters, where Multivalue was leading the pack, but eventually was overtaken in the final stages of the race and won by Simon Templar. And Multivalue just finished 2 1/4 lengths behind the winner. That was Simon Templar, and Multivalue second. Number 2 will be Prince of Art. Prince of Art's last outing was this season in race number 20 over 1400 meters, where Prince of Art finished on 8th. Also in the same race we had number 5, Sheer Force, who was leading the pack but eventually was overtaken, and Sheer Force finished on 2nd. The winner of that race was Sniper. Number 4 will be Dungle. Dungle's last outing was this season in race number 18 over 5.5 furlongs, where Dungle was amongst the front runners in the final stages of the race and eventually faded away and finished on 6th was Dungle. Winner of that race was Mahasuvi. Number 6 will be Panchovilla. Panchovilla's last outing was in the monsoon meeting in race number 62 over 1600 meters, where Panchovilla finished on 7th. Winner of that race was Fantasia. Number 7 will be CAPO the CAPI. CAPO the CAPI's last outing was this season, just had one start in race number 3 over 1100 meters, where CAPO the CAPI finished on 3rd, almost 4 1/4 lengths behind the winner. That was Tana. Number 8 will be Marbella. Marbella has just had one start in the monsoon meeting in race number 49 over 1400 meters, and after some vigorous riding and a tight bunch of runners, Marbella finished on 3rd in that race, and the winner of that race was Venezia. Number 9 will be Kantai. Kantai has had one start this season in race number 4 over 1400 meters, where Kantai finished on 5th, and the winner of that race was Demonstrate, who poked through in the center and just about won it at the post. Number 10 will be Lancaster. Lancaster's last outing was in the monsoon meeting in race number 129 over 1400 meters, where Lancaster finished on 5th, and the winner of that race was Big Star. We move on to the third race, which is the Kabuki Handicap Division 1, to be run over a distance of 1100 meters. Number 1 will be Praise Gaze. Praise Gaze's last outing was in this season in race number 27 over 1200 meters, where Praise Gaze finished on 9th. Also in the same race, we had number 3, Uncrowned King, who finished on an impressive 4th, and the winner of that race was the stablemate Born to Win. Number 2 will be Glorious Leaps. Glorious Leaps' last outing was this season, just had one start in race number 9 over 1200 meters in a tight bunch, finished on 13th was Glorious Leaps, and the winner of that race was Simon Templar. Number 5 will be Shape the Scape. Shape the Scape's last outing was in the monsoon meeting in race number 83 over 1100 meters, where Shape the Scape finished on 3rd and was leading the pack, but eventually was overtaken, and the winner of that race was X-Light. Number 6 will be Blaze to Glory. Blaze to Glory's last outing was this season in race number 25 over 1600 meters, where Blaze to Glory came into the straight, traveling very wide of the track, and eventually finished off 5th in that race, and the winner of that race was Princess Elena. Number 7 will be Dancing Prince. Dancing Prince has had 2 starts this season and run off the board both its outings, last one being in race number 10 over 5.5 furlongs, where Dancing Prince finished on 9th, and the winner of that race was the runaway winner was The Kiss. Number 8 will be Artificial. Artificial's had 2 starts this season and finished on board on both its start, last outing being in race number 17 over 1200 meters, where Artificial did look for some opening and eventually finished on 3rd was Artificial. Also in the same race, we had number 10 Dark Gold, who finished on 6th, and number 13 Happy Returns, who finished on 4th. Winner of that race was Viragio. Number 11 will be X-Light. X-Light's last outing was this season in race number 22 where X-Light finished on 12th. Was a distance of 1400 meters, and the winner of that race was Smith & Wesson. Number 12 will be Kaiden. Kaiden's last start was this season in race number 1 over 1100 meters. Was quite an eye-catcher, was Kaiden, where Kaiden finished on second. Came up with a late run, but finished 2 lengths behind the winner. That was me and myself. Number 14 will be Amaranthus. Amaranthus, his last outing was in 111 over 1100 meters in the monsoon meeting, and Amaranthus led the leader in the entire race, but eventually faded out and finished on 7th in the final stages, and the winner of that race was Midnight Magic. We move on to the 4th race, which is the Kabuki Handicap Division 2, to be run over a distance of 1100 meters. Number 1 will be Yutaka. Yutaka's had 1 start this season in race number 17 over 1200 meters, and Yutaka finished on 12th after much efforts and couldn't get much out of Yutaka that day, and the winner of that race was Viragio. Number 2 will be Perfect Balance. Perfect Balance has had 1 outing this season in race number 10 over 1100 meters, where Perfect Balance finished on 7th. Also in the same race, we had number 8 Romanov, who finished on 2nd, 7 lengths behind the winner. Also in the same race, we had number 12 Gimme Credit, who finished on 5th. The eventual winner of that race was The Kiss, an impressive winner that day. Number 3 will be Bacardi. Bacardi's had 1 start this season in race number 2 over 1200 meters, where Bacardi was amongst the front runners, but eventually faded out in the final stages and finished on 8th. Was Bacardi. Winner of that race was Tomorrow Forever. Number 4 will be Lady in Red. Lady in Red's last outing was this season in race number 27 over 1200 meters, where Lady in Red travelled very wide of the track and finished on 7th, and the winner of that race was Born to Win. Number 5 will be Beach Game. Beach Game's last outing was in the monsoon meeting in race number 130 over 1100 meters, where Beach Game finished on 6th after much efforts, and the winner of that race was Coconut, who sprung a surprise that day. Number 6 will be Logano. Logano's last outing was in the monsoon meeting in race number 122 over 1100 meters, where Logano finished on wide of the track and finished on 7th, and the winner of that race was Perfect Balance, who got it at the post. Number 10 will be The Last Judgment. The Last Judgment's last outing was this season in race number 16 over 1200 meters, where The Last Judgment finished on faraway 11th. Also in the same race, we had number 13 Zaragoza, who finished on 8th. The winner of that race was Oakbrook. Number 11 will be Jezebelle. Jezebelle's last outing was in the monsoon meeting in race number 105, where Jezebelle finished on 11th, and the winner of that race was Tibidabo, who won that race pillar to post. Number 14 was Sicario. Sicario's just had 1 start this season in race number 15 over 1600 meters. Came up with a bit of a run in the final stages of the race was Sicario, but eventually finished on 5th, and the winner of that race was Porus. We move on to the 6th race, which is the Bowl Publication Cup, to be run over a distance of 2,000 meters. Number 1 will be I Told You No. I Told You No's last outing was in the monsoon meeting over 2,000 meters in race number 132, where I Told You No came up with a late dash and finished on 3rd. The winner of that race was Hiorel. Number 2 will be 7 Step. 7 steps. Last outing was in the monsoon meeting in race number 112 over 1600 meters, where 7 step led all the way, but eventually got beaten at the post by about half a length by the Dancing Lord, who won that race. Number 3 will be Cool Conqueror. Cool Conqueror's last outing was this season in race number 25 over 1600 meters, where Cool Conqueror couldn't get much of a room in the final stage of the race on the inner rail and finished on 8th was Cool Conqueror. Winner of that race was Princess Elena. Number 4 will be Lotse. Lotse's last outing was in the monsoon meeting over 1800 meters, where Lotse finished on 6th. Travelled very wide of the track was Lotse in race number 51, but the winner of that race was Top Cat. Number 5 will be Yuvan. Yuvan's just had 1 start this season in race number 14 over 1600 meters, where Yuvan finished on 6th, and the winner of that race was Saberjet, who won that race by about 3 lengths. Number 6 will be Duchamp. Duchamp just had 1 start this season in race number 15 over 1600 meters, and mostly needed that run was Duchamp, and finished on 2nd just by a nose. Got beat by Boros at the post, and was ridden by Jockey Sandesh, this time by Nikhil Naidu. We move on to the 7th race, which is the Delhi Race Club Cup, to be run over a distance of 1600 meters. Number 1 will be Exodus. Exodus has had 1 start this season in race number 12 over 1400 meters, and what an impressive start to the season by Exodus. Came up and won that race by about half a length. Also in the same race we had number 4 Mogadishu, who finished on 8th. Number 6 Multi Glory, who finished on 10th. Number 8 Commodore, who finished on 7th. Number 9 Commander, who finished on 5th, and number 11 Rufus, who finished on 4th. But as I said, the winner was Exodus. Number 2 will be Germanicus. Germanicus' last outing was in race number 138 over 2000 meters, where Germanicus finished away a faraway 5th in that race in the monsoon meeting, and the winner of that race was Shivalik Shahs. Number 5 will be Sweet Music. Sweet Music's always done well in the winter season. Had a blinder of a season last winter, but it just had 1 start in the monsoon meeting in race number 42 over 1400 meters, where Sweet Music finished on 4th. The winner of that race was Gloaming. Number 7 will be Shivalik Story. Shivalik Story's last outing was in this season in race number 28 over 1200 meters, where Shivalik Story finished on 3rd, and the winner of that race was Denny Crane. Number 10 will be Eternally. Eternity's last outing was in the monsoon meeting in race number 139 over 1400 meters, where Eternally came up with a blinder and went on to win that race by about 5.5 lengths by beating Josh. We move on to the 8th race, which is the Treasureland Handicap Division 1, to be run over a distance of 1200 meters. Number 1 will be the Talisman. The Talisman's had 1 start in the monsoon meeting. That's the last one in race number 12 over 5.5 furlongs, where the Talisman finished on 6th. The winner of that race was One Man Army. Number 2 will be Rule Down Under. Rule Down Under has just had 1 start this season in race number 6, where Rule Down Under finished on far away 8th. Also in the same race we had number 4 Kramer, who finished on 5th, and number 9 was Big Star, who finished on 7th, and the winner of that race was Eastern Star, who won that race by about half a length. Number 5 will be Gryffindor. Gryffindor's last outing was in the monsoon meeting in race number 123 over 1200 meters. After a hard-fought battle, got beat was Gryffindor and finished on third. And the winner of that race was Nobu. Number 6 will be Simran's Choice. Simran's Choice has had 2 stars this season. Last one being in race number 11 over 1100 meters, where Simran's Choice finished on 5th, and the winner of that race was Nobu. Seven will be Multiple. Multiple's last outing was in the monsoon meeting in race number 19 over 1200 meters, where Multiple led the pack, but eventually was overtaken in the final stages of the race and finished on 2nd. The winner was Shohin. Number 8 will be Mocha Loca. Mocha Loca's last outing was in the monsoon meeting in race number 93 over 1400 meters, and after vigorous riding and a hard-fought battle, Mocha Loca was beaten by about 2.5 lengths and finished on 2nd. The winner of that race was Shivesh. Number 10 will be Simon Templar. Simon Templar's had 1 start this season over 1200 meters in race number 9, carrying the monsoon form, its last run in the monsoon, and Simon Templar came out and won this race by 2.25 lengths by beating Multivalue. We move on to the ninth and last race, which is the Treasure Land Handicap Division 2, to be run over a distance of 1200 meters. Number 1 will be TAYGETUS. TAYGETUS' last outing was in the monsoon meeting in race number 123 over 1200 meters, where TAYGETUS finished on 8th, and the winner of that race was Nobu. Number 2 will be Flanker. Flanker's last outing was in the monsoon meeting in race number 87 over 1200 meters. Under heavy showers, Flanker finished on 6th, and the winner of that race was Brahmachari. Number 3 will be Tweedledee. Tweedledee's last outing was this season in race number 6, just had 1 start over 1400 meters, where Tweedledee finished on 10th, and winner of that race was Eastern Star, a stablemate. Number 4 will be AKSHAYA. AKSHAYA's last outing was this season, just had 1 start in race number 11 over 1100 meters, where AKSHAYA finished on 6th. Also in the same race, we had number 8, KNIGHTHOOD, who finished on 7th, and number 11, number 10, Leopard Creek, who finished on 4th. Winner of that race was Nobu. Number 5 will be Shohin. Shohin's last outing was in the monsoon meeting in race number 139 over 1400 meters, where Shohin was amongst the front runners, but eventually in the final stages of the race was overtaken, and Shohin finished on 7th. Winner of that race was Eternally. Number 6 will be ARAKAWAH. ARAKAWAH's last outing was in the monsoon meeting in race number 88 over 1200 meters, where ARAKAWAH travelled very wide of the track and finished on 5th, and the winner of that race was Gryffindor. Number 7 will be Joss. Joss's last outing was this season in race number 19 over 1600 meters, where Joss finished on 9th, and the winner of that race was Shivansh, who won that by 3.25 lengths. Number 9 will be Stunner. Stunner's last outing was this season, just had 1 start over 1100 meters, where Stunner finished on as the winner, who went on to win that race by about 3.25 lengths in race number 3 by beating Bang Bang. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your time.